Hello, welcome to the UNILAG post-UTME 2014 Use of English. Now here's a note. Although this is published as UNILAG Use of English 2014, it is in fact the same questions from 2013 as well. It is only recycled and so can be reused for both years. And if the order is out of place with the copy you have, just feel free to arrange the questions as necessary. And this is so because from the copy of the post-UTME questions we received, we found out that the questions were the same, just rearranged in a different order. But if, however, the copy you own is different from ours, please leave a comment below and we'll look forward to resolving it as fast as we can. With that out of the way, let's attempt the questions. UNILAG post-UTME 2014 Use of English. Question 1. And the instruction says, from the list of words lettered A to D, choose one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word and that will, at the same time, correctly fill the gap in the sentence. The sentence is, the management has neither dash nor denied the rumor that it was going to lay off some workers. Denied being the word underlined. Option A, pronounce. Option B, confirm. Option C, rejected. Option D, advertised. Now, the word denied is a verb and it is the past tense of deny, which means the state that one refuses to admit the truth or its existence. So, the most nearly opposite in meaning that correctly fills the gap is option B, confirm. And confirm means to establish the truth or correctness of something previously believed or suspected to be the case. Now, this is a question from the synonyms and antonyms part of English language, and there aren't clear cut out rules on how you can actually approach and answer such questions. So the best approach to use for solving this kind of problems are to do as many practice sets as possible and know the meaning of words. UNILAG post-UTME 2014 Use of English. Question 2. We have the same instruction as before. From the list of words lettered A to D, choose one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word and that will, at the same time, correctly fill the gap in the sentence. The sentence is, instead of dash, the speaker digressed to unimportant matters. Option A, summarizing. Option B, describing. Option C, revealing. Option D, addressing. Digress being the word underlined. And digress, again, is a verb and it is the past tense of digress. And to digress means to leave the main subject temporarily while giving a speech or writing. And so the most nearly opposite in meaning that correctly fills the gap is addressing, which means to give a speech or written statement, usually formal, that is directed to a particular group of persons or to acknowledge an issue and focus on it for a specific period of time. And this again is a question you find under the synonyms and antonyms part of English language. And so we have option D, addressing, as our correct answer. UNILAG post-UTME Use of English. Question 3. And the instruction still remains, picking the opposite in meaning to the underlying word and at the same time will correctly fill the gap in the sentence. And the sentence is, the telephone booths were all dash and I had to wait for more than 10 minutes for one to become vacant. Vacant being the underlying word. Vacant is an adjective and it means to not be occupied or to be empty. So the most nearly opposite in meaning that correctly fills the gap is option C, occupied. And occupied means to be used by someone or to be busy or active. UNILAG post-UTME 2014 Use of English. Question 4. The instruction still remains the same. So we have the sentence to be, while the 1st Battalion halted its march at nightfall, the 2nd dashed to the barracks. Halted being the word underlined. Halted is the past tense of halt, which means to come to a stop. So the most nearly opposite in meaning that correctly fills the gap is proceeded. which means to carry on or continue an action. Now, returned, turned up, or set out will not be correct, because in order for them to come to a halt means they had already started out on their march to the barracks. And so the correct option is option C, proceeded. UNILAG Post UTME 2014 Use of English. Question 5. Sentences. His father is an dash driver, but he is only a novice. Novice being the word underlined. Novice is an adjective, and novice means to be new to a job or situation and inexperienced in it. So the most nearly opposite in meaning that correctly fills the gap is experience, which means gaining knowledge and skill in a particular field over time. Being enlightened doesn't necessarily mean you're not a novice. A novice can be enlightened about a particular subject or topic, but that doesn't make him or her experienced. Now, excellent would have passed as another candidate for being opposite in meaning to novice, but it doesn't cover for the experience gained within a time frame. Since novice is somebody who is new and inexperienced to a particular job or situation, so excellent wouldn't make the cut, and so experience here is and remains a better option. UNILAG Post UTME 2014 Use of English. Question 6. Our instructions still remains to get from our options A to D the word that is nearly opposite in meaning to the underlying word, and at the same time fills in the gap of the sentence. And the sentence is: the arrival of the police at the scene dash rather than mitigated tension. Mitigated being the word underlined. Option A, provoked. Option B, heightened. Option C, created. Option D, prolonged. Mitigated is a verb, and it is the past tense of mitigate, which means to make less severe or serious. So the most nearly opposite in meaning that correctly fills the gap is option B, heightened. And heightened means to make or become more intense. And so instead of the arrival of the police at the scene, to make the tension less severe, it heightened it. Now, provoke cannot be the correct answer, because provoke would mean that the arrival of the police was what initiated the tension, and so that would be wrong. And that goes the same for option C, created. Option D, prolonged, does not necessarily mean that the tension got a lot more intense than it actually was. It might just have remained the same, only it took a longer time to settle. So that isn't a clear winner in this case. And so option B, heightened, is our best fit. UNILAG Post UTME 2014 Use of English. Question 7. From the list of words lettered A to D, choose one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlying word and that will at the same time correctly fill the gap in the sentence. The sentence is: roses are common in May but dash in November. Common being the word underlined. Option A, dead. Option B, strange. Option C, rare. Option D, extinct. Common is an adjective, and it means to be occurring, found, or done often. So the correct option here is option C, rare, and rare means not occurring often. Now, dead isn't the opposite of common. Being dead doesn't make you uncommon. And strange, well, could actually pass as a candidate for opposite in meaning. But again, in the case we have in the sentence, something being strange does not necessarily make it uncommon. There could be a strange event that keep occurring in a particular pattern, and even though it's common, it is still strange, either because of the pattern it follows or something else, and so that doesn't match this case. And extinct is just not it. Extinct means it will never be in existence again. So we've lost that species of animal or that particular item, and it is gone forever. And so being uncommon doesn't mean it never exists anymore. And so extinct also doesn't qualify. And so rare remains our best option. UNILAG post-UTME 2014, Use of English, question 8. From the list of words lettered A to D, choose one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlying word and that will, at the same time, correctly fill the gap in the sentence. And the sentence is, a bank clerk should be able to tell easily the difference between dash notes and counterfeit ones. Counterfeit being the word underlined. Option A, crisp. Option B, good. Option C, correct. Option D, genuine. Counterfeit is an adjective that means a fraudulent imitation of something else. So the most nearly opposite in meaning that correctly fills the gap is option D, genuine. And genuine means something authentic or truly what something is said to be. So correct isn't the opposite of counterfeit, neither is good or crisp. UNILAG post-UTME 2014 Use of English, question 9. The instruction is, from the list of words lettered A to D, choose one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlying word and that will, at the same time, correctly fill the gap in the sentence. And the sentence is, last night, Uncle Joe was blind drunk. This morning, he is as dash as a judge. Drunk being the word underlined. Option A, alert. Option B, saintly. Option C, strong. Option D, sober. Now, drunk is an adjective and in some cases could be a noun, but in the use case, it is an adjective and it means to be affected by alcohol to the extent of losing control of one's faculties or behavior. So the most nearly opposite in meaning that correctly fills the gap is option D, sober. And sober means to not be affected by alcohol or simply not drunk. And in fact, the phrase is actually a popular one, as sober as a judge, which means to be clear-headed.